excited to learn more about her journey tonight and discuss her vision. Dr. Mona, I'm so proud that I'm sitting with you now. You can't imagine my own feeling. Dr. Mona, may I ask you some question, please? What motivated you to choose politics and pursue a parliamentary career?
I'll tell you something. When I first started, I was a student at university, at American University in Cairo, which I treasured very much, my student days. And my dream was to become a university professor at one point or another.
This was your dream?
This was my dream.
Yes.
And then President Sadat, out of nowhere, opened up the political sphere. And the left, who had been forgotten 15 years before, it had disappeared after the fall of the monarchy, reappeared. And when it reappeared, my heart started pouncing, because all my life I heard about the left, its legacy, its heritage, it was the party of the whole Middle East. So, of course, I didn't want to be anymore an observer of things, but a participant of events.
That's really great. In your review, what are the major challenges facing women in politics, and how do you address those challenges?
Well, women in politics, to start with, my own family totally refused the idea. My family comes from what in Arabic they called Saida, the Upper Egyptians, Sicilians, who don't admit that women can really have a role in politics. They say politics is a man's business. But as long as you are a professor at university, excellent, we're very proud of you. But politics, forget it. And I did not want to forget, because as you can see, you will see from whatever you read about me that I've always been a rebel. Always.
Yes.
Since I was a kid, I was a rebel. I was a rebel at school. Yes. I was a rebel in politics. I was a rebel in my family. And so I refused what my family said. And I went to the wife of the big leader, Makram Ebied, and I asked her, while crying, I told her, my uncles are all against me. She said, no, I am with you. Go down. I will be behind you and I will help you. And this is to tell you what women are even at the age of 87. She was 87 then, and she got me all the people who could help me where I was running, which was Shoura at the time.
Very good. Okay, I'm so anxious to know more and more. What are some of your major achievements during your time in Parliament? And what do you hope to accomplish going forward?
My main achievements, first of all, the idea that I could speak up, And thank God I had a very good Speaker of Parliament, Mr. Fathi Surur. And although he was a member, of course, of the ruling party, and I was in the opposition, but we had a very good relationship. He liked me and I liked him very much. And he always gave me the floor when I asked for it. So it gave me, the opportunity, first of all, to speak up in front of a big audience. And although they didn't like very much what I was saying, but I was saying it. And I was always speaking up about the importance of civil society, the importance of NGOs, that this is extremely important to have, and we must encourage it and not treat it as if it's an enemy of the ruling regime.
May I ask you, from which side do you find that NGOs is very important, and I think it's considered to be the backbone of any development?
Absolutely, absolutely. You have to have people from the NGOs join in discussing, in open debates, in discussing what is happening for the future, because they also have ideas on their own. They don't need to toe the line of the government as usual. No, they have to give their own opinion, and the government should listen to it.
That's it. My question, next question, I would like to ask you about how has your academic experience at Harvard impacted your professional and political journey?
I'll tell you something very funny. The first time I ran for elections was at Harvard, the student elections. And I had friends.
We didn't know that.
Yes, I had friends there who came and told me, you can't run against Americans. So I looked at them, I said, why? Why can't I run against Americans? They said, well, because you come from third world country. I said, that is why I'm going to run. And the Americans will vote for me. What do you think? And the Americans voted for me, and I became number 2 in the student union.
Oh, you're so proud.
Yes, and I was very happy because, you know, it's funny that Harvard served as a first for everything. First time I write in the journals, first time I run for elections, first time I give lectures, first time I go to another state. I went to Colombia to teach there. So everything was a first. So when I came back with a real baggage of knowledge that I have acquired, and particularly of how to teach. Because there isn't this obsequiousness that you have in Egypt. You think that the professor is God sent. He never says anything wrong, but most of the time everything he says is wrong. So over there you have a friendly attitude with the professors. The professors used to take us out in the garden, you know, and teach us there. Or he would take us out during weekends. So there was a nice, friendly, convivial relationship with the professors.
That's great. May I ask you, what's your view on youth and women's participation in political life? How can we boost their participation?
I tell you, what women need is a voice and a job. Give them a voice, meaning that they can talk, that they can participate in whatever is happening, and a job, because that's what people need, employment in Egypt.
So you mean two parallel?
Absolutely, a voice and a job. So these are two.
We are badly in need.
Badly in need of both, and it's very easy to summarize: a voice and a job.
Yeah. Okay. What key social, economic issues and economic issues are you passionate about?
Economic issues, I like to see that there is safety nets, you know?
Yeah.
So that when we have harsh measures as those who are dictated by the IMF or the World Bank, that they don't hurt people who don't have the means to cope with the changes in the economy. Yeah. So there should be safety nets. The government should provide safety nets so as to safeguard the life of these people, the survival of these people.
See. Okay, how do you work to support them through your role in Parliament?
Well, I always speak about that. The need to have safety nets. The need to not only see how we can advance, but also how the majority of the people can advance, whether it is through education, whether it is through ease How can you ease their life, their everyday life? Women in particular, women who want to go to work and who have to care about children at home, to care about work, to care about the husband. There's a lot of that women have to toil for, and you have to try and help them.
Dr. Mona,
Yes?
do you believe women face additional obstacles in reaching leadership positions?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's not at all easy to reach a leadership position for both men and women, but even more for women. So women have to excel more in their knowledge, in their attitude, of indomitable women.
Way of thinking.
Way of thinking, the mindset.
Mindset, exactly.
And how they can propel their ideas further. And how they can, as you said before, how can they impart their knowledge to younger generations?
Exactly.
Because this is very important. And that's what I get from my teaching. That's why I never left my teaching. I love to have young people around because I give them my experience, which nobody else can give them, but they give me their enthusiasm, the new ideas, the things that I will not be able to think alone. I have to think with them, or they have to tell me many things that I don't know. And I'm very happy to do that.
I think that's because these issues which you have said, because of that they love you always.
Yes, and I love them, and I'm so proud of them when I see them, they made it, They either are becoming members of parliament and they say that I was a role model for them, or the head of the National Council of Women, who is a former student of mine, and who last year, Dr. Maya Morsi, in the graduation, she was the graduation speaker. She spoke about the people who have impressed her most, were three of them. Dr. Bahgat Orani,
Yes.
Tim Sullivan, and Dr. Mona Makram Ebied.
Of course.
So I had to thank her, and she said, I did not invent anything. I said what is in my heart. You have given me a lot with which I have made it today where I am.
Very impressive statements.
I was very, very touched, I must say. But she's one of them. It's not only her.
Okay.
I have others who have become university professors, who have become, people that I'm proud of.
Yeah, I am so anxious to know more and more and more. What advice do you have for young women aspiring to work in politics and leadership roles?
You don't aspire, you become from what you have gained in knowledge, what you have gained in your studies, in your seriousness to advance and your seriousness to reach the goals you have put in front of you.
Yes. From politics to civil society, Dr. Mona Makram Ebied has spent a lifetime shattering glass ceiling and opening doors for women in leadership roles.
That's right.
That is sure. We thank Dr. Mona Makram Ebied for joining us. And I am so anxious to hear from you about a lot of photos here. Would you come with me, please? We can
Yes.
share these photos. Wow.
This, my dear, these were the two best friends in politics for 15 years. Mustafa Pasha al-Nahas, Prime Minister of Egypt, and the Secretary General of the WAF, the biggest party in Egypt, Makram Ebied Pasha. They have both fought for the independence of Egypt, and that's why they were both exiled in the Seychelles by the British until the 1919 revolution broke up. So he stayed 2 years in exile, both of them. Makram Ebied learned the Quran in the Seychelles by Atif Pasha Barakat.
This is a marvelous photo.
Yes, I think so too.
This is, I think we need a lot of books to write about this.
Yes.
It's, ask you about this one.
This is our new Pope. I'm very, very fond of him. He's a lovely person. He's very astute. And I don't know, everybody loved him as soon as he came.
All of us, yeah.
And including President Sisi.
Of course.
Who never misses one Christmas Eve where the Pope is officiating.
What a lovely, impressive photo. What about this lovely photo? You swear.
This is my darling son, my only son. God bless him, Karim.
God bless him.
And this was in Montaza. Montaza was a beautiful place in Alexandria, and this was taken there.
It's lovely. I love this photo.
This is Karim's father, Samir Wisa, my husband, my loving husband. And there it is. It says it all.
It's impressive, very impressive. This photo, I adore this one.
This is Makram Ebied holding me. He never had children, but I was his preferred child.
Oh, okay.
This is one of the great days of my life when I graduated at Harvard University, yes. It was a great day. I loved it. I loved my years at Harvard.
Very impressive.
2.5 years there.
Yes. What about this one?
These are close friends of mine. I had dealings in different parts of my life with each one of them. Saad-Din Ibrahim was the head of the Ibn Khaldun Center, and he was a kind of a mentor to me. Hussein Fahmy is an icon of the cinema today.
Of course.
And Muhammad Sid Ahmed is one of my very closest leftist friends.
Wow. What about this one? Historical.
This to me,
evergreen photo.
This to me is the leader that we look up to. Nelson Mandela. He is an icon, he is a legend on his own. I loved it. I was so proud to have met him in Stellenbosch in South Africa.
It's an evergreen photo. What about this one? Oh, very impressive.
This is somebody I always admired, who is the great writer Hassanin Hakel. They are celebrating these days, after tomorrow in fact, the centennial of his birth. 100 years of his birth. And next to him over there is Muhammad Salmawi, if you notice.
That's very impressive photos. From politics to civil, Dr. Ebied has spent a lifetime shattering glass ceiling and opening doors for women leadership roles. We thank Dr. Makram Ebied for joining us and providing such invaluable perspective drawn from her truly remarkable journey as a woman of many interests. As her rich career demonstrates, Dr. Makram Ebied is a woman who turns impossible into possible through her perseverance and courage. Perseverance and courage. As we can see from the award she has received, among them, Officer of the French Legion of Honor. The Hall of Fame. What a distinguished award.
The AUC award is a very big one. Distinguished award, which I received in 1995 from my favorite AUC president, John Gerhardt. And that's it.
But we need you more and more to sit you every day, minimum 1 week, to finish what we anxious to know more and more.
I'd like to add that we have edited a new book called Daughters of the Nile.
I've been in the event. I've been there.
So I'm one of the writers.
Yes.
And I write about my trajectory in life. My political trajectory starting from childhood, which says a lot about my being a rebel, and rebel at school, and rebel in politics.
Everywhere.
Yes, and it's quite interesting, I think, of the challenges I met as a woman, being fought. People didn't accept the idea of having a woman, but I continued and I ran for elections twice or 3 times even. Unfortunately, most of the elections in Egypt were rigged, but I still ran. But running in the opposition is not easy.
I feel very proud to sit with you today and to have such a fantastic interview with you.
And I want to also add here how very honored I was when His Excellency Mr. Ángel Moratinos, Miguel Moratinos, has chosen me as his advisor to international affairs, and particularly that he is very keen on women as peacemakers and peace builders. So we are now working on that motion, and I would like to present him the result of what we are doing now for the Sudanese women. You and I are both involved in the Sudanese women. How can we help them? And that's what we're working on. So it falls within the framework of the Alliance of Civilizations.
Yes, exactly. Dr. Makram Ebied, I hope that we will do that next week, and we'll never finish speaking and sitting with you because we are so anxious to read more and more and more. You know, when I get a surf in the internet, pages and pages and pages, and I really feel so.
You know, what I'm doing now is very interesting. I'm doing a photo album. Because many people asked me to write my memoirs.
This is very
And I got some very excellent of my assistants at university who wanted to help me. But somehow there was always a snatch. So I chose the halfway is a photo album. I've got such beautiful photos all over the years. And we can add a caption under each photo. I'm sure it will amuse people more than if it's just you know.
I'm sure we will be all amused from this.
Yes. I hope it will come out nicely because I have a wonderful person working with me, Dr. Ashraf Rida.
So we hope that we meet again.
Inshallah.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Dr. Mona. Thank you.